papers on the sign-in sheet upstairs for Uhuru, and welcome to the Black Power Blueprint Live.
Yes,
Uhuru. We want to welcome you to the beautiful Aquaba Hall, located here at 4101 West Florissant in St. Louis, Missouri, on the African north side of the city. My name is Ticharwa Masimba. I'm the Economic Development Director of the Black Power Blueprint, working in the office of the Deputy Chair. Next to me, Ona Zene Yeshitela. She leads the Black Power Blueprint, and she has led this entire economic program that is an amazing anti-colonial economic development program located right here in the heart of the African community. So we want to talk about these amazing projects, and I want to welcome next to me Deputy Chair Ona Zene Yeshitela.
comrade.
Uhuru. And also to my right, to Deputy Chair's right, is Kitty Reilly. She sits on the leading body of the African People's Solidarity Committee, a committee formed by the African People's Socialist Party and Revolutionary African Party that formed the African People's Solidarity Committee. And Kitty is over the Office of Reparations and Economic Development, and she'll be contributing here today to talk about the Black Power Blueprint and her role in the Black Power Blueprint. So Kitty, we want to welcome you as well.
Uhuru, Ticharwa, it's an honor to be here with you and with Deputy Chair Ona Zene Yeshitela. Uhuru.
All right. So we've achieved significant milestones, and we still have a lot of work to do to make the Black Power Blueprint a reality, which we'll discuss shortly. So we just wanted to introduce you to Black Power Blueprint Live, which is a bi-weekly web show where we talk about the progress of this incredible program that we refer to as the Black Power Blueprint. It is a dynamic African working class led economic development project initiated and focused here in St. Louis, Missouri, on the north side, where the community that we see in front of us has been deprived of all economy. And we are bringing it back to life through this wonderful program. We want to encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. So if you could do that now, this will allow you to get updates of all of the web shows that we put on. And I want to also acknowledge who is not here beside me today, but Chairman Omali Yeshitela.
Uhuru.
He is the visionary not only behind the Black Power Blueprint, but behind a whole international movement of African people fighting and achieving the outcome of taking back our resources all over the world. And he's led this struggle for about 50 years. He has given the world a dynamic scientific theory of struggle and an analysis of the social system that we refer to as African internationalism. So I also want to recognize Chairman Omali Yeshitela, Chair of the African People's Socialist Party.
Uhuru. And Ticharwa, I also want to salute my leadership, Chairman Omali Yeshitela, for so many things, but importantly for the science of African internationalism that informs us that it's not only European and North American governments and corporations that owe reparations to African people, but every white person in this country and around this world owe reparations. We do sit, as science shows it, that we benefit from all the resources that have been stolen from Africa and African people, and it puts us on a pedestal, the pedestal of oppression of the African working class community. So, yes, Uhuru.
Uhuru. So I want to just let the audience know that as part of this web show to broadcast the work of the Black Power Blueprint, we also want to raise resources to further the projects, because this is an African-led anti-colonial project, and we need all of our listeners and everyday people to participate. Tonight we want to raise $500 minimum.
Wow.
And doing so, that's not difficult, and we can do it, and we are going to do it tonight. So that will allow us to contribute to the already nearly $75,000 that we've raised since November of 2017. And it will get us over our goal of $9,000 for this phase of the Black Power Blueprint. So we are currently at just about $8,623 or so, and we want to move beyond the $9,000 mark so that we can reach our goal at this phase.
Do you think we could do that?
I think we can do that,
I think
Deputy
we can do
Chair.
it.
Is there something people would get?
Yes, that's
All right.
say. For the first people that donate $200, we're gonna be able to send you this I Love Black Power bag.
All right.
Oh, only $200. That's a beautiful gift.
That's
Right,
beautiful.
we got more.
We got more.
Beautiful
So you
gift.
have a choice
All right.
of the Black Power or I Love a PSP bag.
All right.
Yeah.
African People's Socialist Party.
Right. Or I Love St. Louis. We are in St. Louis, y'all.
Right.
I Love St. Louis.
Yeah.
So we really want to encourage everybody to go on and donate tonight. We really want, me personally, I really want to say that we want to raise more than $500.
Absolutely.
You know, we
Bare
really
minimum.
do. Because
That's
these
easy.
projects are very important to our community, and we are kicking it off again,
Yes.
you know, coming up really, really soon.
Yes.
Hooroo.
Hooroo. As
So
you will see, and we have pictures coming forward, so we want you to stay tuned. We'll show pictures of the before and after and what we still have to do. So we want to encourage everybody to donate by going to www.blackpowerblueprint.org. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do ORG.
Yeah.
ORG.
ORG.
All right. Do we have to do www?
Can we do it again?
Okay,
it again?
so we don't have to do www. We'll say it again. 1, 2, 3.
BlackPowerBlueprint.org.
All right.
Right. Hooroo.
So, and we also want to welcome our live audience, who those on social media can't see.
So we have someone at the door.
We have more people coming in as we speak.
Yes.
So I want to turn my first question to Deputy Chair Ona Zene Yeshitela. And I want you to just give our audience a sense of what the Black Power Blueprint is and why it's so significant.
Okay, I want to do that, but I just too want to salute my leadership as well, Chairman Omali Yeshitela, who's been on the front lines, as Ticharwa said, for over 50 years, you know, fighting for Africa and African people worldwide. And I just want to say that he's on a book tour. We have his new book out called The Vanguard, and we were at Uncle Bobby's last night in Philadelphia. So we just getting off the plane, making it here back to St. Louis, and we had he sold over 40 books last night at this place. So
Very good.
he's on the move. So yeah, getting to your question, Ticharwa, you know, the Black Power Blueprint is completely unique. It's about African working class taking political and economic power into our own hands. This is, you know, we're sitting on the north side of St. Louis, and we know what the conditions are here in St. Louis on the north side. We want to show the African community that we're going to bring what's on the south side to the north side. So we really want to say that we are bringing these projects, you know, food, clothing, and shelter to the south, to the north side, to bring economic development to this area.
That is perfect. Economic development, we do see two realities in St. Louis, and we see this across the world. We see a reality where you see beautiful high-rise buildings, and you know, people get to walk their dogs all times of day and night, and we see incredible amounts of wealth. And then in some cases, you see a literal immediate divide, where we call it the Delmar divide here, and gentrifiers are actually pushing it up. So now some people refer to it as the Page divide as they push forward. But we see incredible amounts of poverty on the other side of that line. And we recognize there's a relationship between the two, where the wealth we see on one side comes at the direct expense of the poverty that is imposed and induced on the other side. So.
We want to make it clear that this is not charity. You know, a lot of organizations, you hear, you know, raising money for this and raising money for that for charity. This is not a charity organization. These projects are directly for building economic development for and by African people worldwide.
That's right. That's right. It's not charity. And you mentioned projects. Can you tell us a little bit about the main projects that constitute the Black Power Blueprint?
Well, the number one project that constitutes the Black Power Blueprint right now, we're sitting in it. It's the Uhuru House.
The
the
Uhuru.
private house. Yeah, we're at 4101 West Florissant in St. Louis on the north side, and this was the first project that brought the African People's Socialist Party, APDF, to St. Louis. And we wanted to find a place where we could hold our community meetings. So we canvassed, the city, and that brought us here on the north side. And so, we launched this program back in 2017, and this building was condemned. That's right. Actually condemned. The wall in the back was missing, the floors were missing, everything. We had no electricity, no water, no lights, nothing. And we brought this building back within 10 months. So we held our first event here. We started this project in August of 2017, and we finished this project in April of 2018. Wow. So we finished this project in less than 10 months. And it's a beautiful state-of-the-art building that's well deserving for the African community. Yeah. So this is one of the major projects that we've encountered with this Black Power Blueprint.
And I think we have some pictures that the audience can see. So here you see, this looks like...
we did the before and after of the Uhuru House front.
Okay, so we did the before and after of the front of the Uhuru House. This is the inside, and this may have been after we cleared much of it out. I mean, it was in very bad condition, at least in terms of what we could see. It had a good foundation, but you see that this was a project that needed complete renovation. So this is what it turned into. And this is in fact where we are sitting now. So right behind us, you see this television and the podium. And behind, in front of us,
decor.
Yes.
Yeah. And Deputy Chair chose much of the decor that you see here.
And I just want to say that we wanted not just a regular building, we wanted a state-of-art building, with the best of everything, including we had the African curtains made in Philadelphia at our Uhuru Furniture Store there. We got products from IKEA. We got our stage built by African contractors. Our booth for our equipment was built by African contractors as well. So we really took a heart to, really shaping this building to something that the African community could be proud of.
Yeah.
Uhuru. And, well, I just want to say that the Black Power Blueprint does what it says it's going to do. And Deputy Chair does what she says she's going to do. And this was a profound example to people of the do-nothing politicians and all those charity organizations from the white community and all those NGOs, and because this was embraced by a poor and working class organization that appealed to the people and the community. And the workers were all African, Mexican on the roof and the sheetrocking, and all African tradespeople and contractors, and they donated, contributed, because they loved what was happening to the community. And I just want to say that we are getting donations in. So I really want to read them off. We got $25 from Allison Haney. Allison Haney. And from Philadelphia, just part of that incredible health fair on the weekend. We got $25 donation for Ruby Gildeson.
Oh, wow.
Also on her way to a Make America Pay reparations event in Philadelphia. And we got $15 from Santosh Rohit. So, and that was $15. And so far, and we have $20 from our AV leadership over here, Casey Mackey. So far we have $80 in donations.
Right. And I see
so where
we've had more come in.
We have more?
Yeah, we have more. We have $20 from Jackson Hollingsworth.
$20. Oh my goodness.
Uhuru. And we also have $25 donated from Amanda Carlozzi. Uhuru.
Amanda. And I got 125, Amanda. with Casey, so let me know. Let me know.
All right, looks like we got
Oh,
another
we
donation
got another
in the audience.
donation here.
And how much is that, 20?
20.
We got
20
another 20 from Zanlile and Pico.
Zanlile.
We got the cash, literally got the
Uhuru. I have 145 to our fabulous Amanda, who's calculating.
And Zanlile is part of the Black Power Blueprint. She is our outreach coordinator.
Uhuru.
Yeah.
And just to say, I just want to unite with what you were saying about the Del Mar divide, because, you know, I came to St. Louis 2 years ago, and you can't ever get used to it. You can never assume that this is how the world is supposed to be. And when you live here, you tend to see this in the north side where the African community lives. There is not hardly a block that does not have an abandoned, blown out building with glass shards all over the place. All the schools are closed and damaged. It's like looking at a bombed out city in a lot of ways. And, you know, when I was coming up from the south side where I go to a class, and I'm driving up and I cross Del Mar Boulevard, and right away, what do I see? Churches,
Yeah.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, the dollar store. I mean, you know, some of the White Castle, I didn't even think they existed anymore. Some of the worst health. You want to say health is tied to economic development. Genuine economic development is what Deputy Chair is building here. And that is completely tied to the lack of health that's in this community, because you can't have it if you don't have an economy that allows you to even have health care and healthy food. So keep on going to blackpowerblueprint.org.
As you see, the Black Power Blueprint says we do what we say we're going to do.
Right.
And you see the evidence. And I wanted to turn it back over to Deputy Chair.
Let me just say one thing
Sure.
before you ask my question, but I also want to say that we're in Aquaba Hall. This is a hall where you can actually rent it out. You can have your birthday parties, wedding anniversaries, poetry readings, family reunions, anything that you can imagine you can have in this setting. So I just wanted to put that out there. You can call us any time of day and we will actually give you a showing. And yeah, just come on down to 4101 West Florissant and we'll take care of you.
That's right. Our first event was an event hosted by the Black is Back Coalition. And we just had a family rented out for a private party. I don't think they had a special occasion for doing it, but they wanted it. And this is why we're here. So it is open for you. And so we wanted to go to a question about so we talked about Aquaba Hall and the building that we're in now as the first phase of the Black Power Blueprint. And we see the evidence, but directly across the street is also evidence of the Black Power Blueprint. Can you tell us about what's happening and has happened across the street?
Yes, well, this is just a coincidence. You know, we're here just like working in this building. And we, always researching different things because we were new to St. Louis. So I just so happened to, was talking to a realtor and she started talking to me about, they have a process called the LRA, which is the Land Reutilization Authority. It's properties that the city owned that are considered, condemned or just really have been sitting a very long time. So I started researching the two properties across the street and found out they were on that list. So we were able to purchase those two buildings, and along with those two buildings, we also found out there were two lots right adjacent to those buildings. So we purchased those two buildings and those two lots, and we tore down those buildings because we couldn't save them. We wish we could have saved them, but we couldn't. Yeah. So now we're getting ready to, yes.
So we see the demolition process happening here on the screen. This is actual footage from the buildings going down, and you see the bricks are down at this point. And this was an incredible scene because here you have these African workers who resemble Africans in the Congo or Sierra Leone in mines, picking up thousands of bricks, maybe tens of thousands, I'm sure tens of thousands of bricks, and piling them on pallets so that they can be hauled away and sold.
And that was in the heat of the summer.
Yes, it was
yes.
hot.
Yeah, yeah.
So here we see the buildings have come down, the bricks have been removed, and now we're filling in dirt. So you see the trucks have come in. And we have a picture of Trish and Andre, who own the company that did the demolition. So not only do we have the economic development that we're bringing through these projects and what they will become, we have actual African entrepreneurs, companies, and the contractors who are doing this work.
And they're doing it professionally.
Professionally, yes. Including African women. And so now you see the lot completely cleared, and at this point you don't see it here, but grass has begun to grow in, and we'll talk more about where we're going to take this project. But this is real economic development that you see.
So now that we demolished the buildings, we're getting ready to launch the One Africa, One Nation Marketplace, where people in the community can come out and vend.
That's
This
right.
is like a kickstart for big people who wants to start their own businesses. So we're going to be launching that in August of this year, and I'm really, really excited.
Yes.
I just got off the plane this morning, coming from Philadelphia, where we have our annual One Africa, One Nation Marketplace. We launched our health fair in Philadelphia at Clark Park. It was a beautiful day. We had over 2,000 people come out to visit the park and vend. We had over 100 vendors out there. It was just a magnificent display of African internationalists at work.
Wow.
And we want to duplicate that and bring that here to St. Louis. So I'm really, really excited about that.
So did you say 2,000?
Over 2,000 people came out. It was. Well, we have a program too. The chairman spoke. You know, we had different vendors come out. It was a health fair, so we had all the health providers come and give presentations as well. It was just a marvelous day.
And we get to see that in St. Louis.
We get to see this in St. Louis.
Yeah,
I'm really
part
excited.
of the north side.
Right.
So
Oh, my goodness.
we have more donations.
We do.
It's hard to keep up with the donations.
Okay. We really do. I mean, people are really, really moved by this process of the Black Power Blueprint. Somebody's even waving money in the audience. I can't even get to you. Okay, this is what I know has come in online.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. That has come in online that we haven't named. Janice Cant.
Janice.
Janice Cant, who's the APEDF administrator and so much work contributes to this whole Black Power Blueprint, donated $50. Janice. Incredible.
Good choice.
Then Stephanie Midler, APDF in Oakland, California.
Where's Stephanie?
Stephanie, her furniture, donated $20 to the Black Power Blueprint. Uhuru. That means we had raised 240, we had 260 go, and then, I hope I'm saying the name correctly, Sabine Maggs from Oakland, $20. Thank you so much. Whoa, so we have 220 to go, and I know someone's waving.
And then we get Dylan Boss,
Wait, where? What's happening?
who also contributed 20 as well.
Uhuru.
Dylan, one of our AV people, and then
And Carly, also in
And
the
what is
audience,
your-
who donated $20.
Carly, what is your last name? Spurlock. Spurlock, $20. Thank you so much, Carly. A volunteer on the Black Power Blueprint. So many, Dylan's a volunteer on the Black Power Blueprint. So I really appreciate that, because the reason I'm here is because as white people, and I so appreciate all of the white people that are donating, because we're here to extend reparations. And we know that we owe reparations. That's the social system we were born into. That's the relationship that we have. And that is the only principled relationship that we can have with the African community. And in speaking about, this beautiful vision for the next door, for the One Africa, One Nation market, and I always think of Fofi from NPDM, who talks about wanting to have like a warm summer evening with outside jazz. You know, the nice lighting. I mean, we have that in the white community, you know. Oh, we have that in the white community, and you know, the lot was used already for Halloween. Really fabulous family Halloween, Deputy Chair. Coordinated, Zanzile, Ticharwa, everybody was in that, Niazi, Kalambai, everybody was coordinating this magnificent Halloween that brought about 200 people, African families and children. It was so powerful. And you know, the lot was blank, as you see it, with the hay on it and little grass starting to grow. But it rained the day before, and it pooled in different places like mud, and the kids were having a great time. There was games and prizes and exercise for candy, and they were in the mud. You know, so when we look at that, you know, we just had meetings with 3 different landscape architects because we are committed to bringing the best to the Black Power blueprint and the African working class community. We have it, it's in our communities. We're going to raise those resources, and people are contributing right now, and those of you in the audience have already contributed. But you know, it can be really, really beautiful, and we want beautiful flowers and trees and what they call permeable ground cover, so that you don't have to, you know, it's more economically viable. For one thing, you don't have water going into the main water system. You don't have to pay $25,000 to hook into the main water system. It just goes through this ground cover into the pebbles and, you know, dissipates. You know, make it wheelchair accessible, a place where the vendors can have their hand trucks going down a path to their booths, baby carriages. So, you know, that's going to take fencing. We already got estimates. One was 6,600, one was 10,000. And we're going to keep going, try to really create our own. But lighting, we have one estimate so far, 3,000 for lighting. You know, we want to create a stage. You know, you look online and there are stages you can fold up and cart away, but there's nowhere to cart it away. But you can build a stage like landscaping. You can have just 2 tiers with stones, 2 little elevations, and on the top, you know, the ground cover, and people can stand up there on the stage, and when it's not used, can sit. I mean, a really beautiful space. And Mr. Gary, the gardener, Mr. Gary already planted 4 trees and already has wood chips and compost, and he put down 2 beds. So, I mean, this is going to be really something beautiful, you know.
Yeah, and as you can see on the screen, the rendering is really beautiful, and that's what we really want to present to our community. And I just want to say, I just want to give a shout out to Gary Brooks. And Gary Brooks is, yes.
Yes, yes.
I remember coming here in the heat of the summer, and people were breaking into the place. And Mr. Brooks comes over and he brings over this steel door, and he puts the steel door on with a lock. You know, he has been here since we got here. He's been part of this community for over 30 years. He just had surgery, and he's in rehab right now. But we're naming the garden after him. We're calling the Gary Brooks Community Garden Black Power, you know. So so we're really excited. We really want a speedy recovery from Mr. Brooks. Just want to send a shout out to him.
And you know what, Deputy Chair, you know, meeting with, you know, people that had the opportunity to go to architectural, you know, landscaping school. And matter of fact, one woman went to Penn, which is right by where the furniture store is in Philadelphia. But, you know, and they give you a vision and ideas, so that's really great, and that's why we wanted to. But then you talk to Mr. Brooks, and that's old school, and he is a farmer. He's a gardener. I'm planting tulips around the flagpole. I want to get some of those bricks from up the street. We'll put them around the flagpole. I mean, it's going to have all of this. It's going to be all of this.
And I just want to say, too, you know, like, you can really sponsor, you know, the lighting. You can sponsor the fencing. If you say, I want to donate $3,000 to get the lighting done, you can do that. We're not stopping you. So, you know, any donation is not too small, but we do want people to sponsor different parts of this this project. So all you have to do is go to
blackpowerblueprint.org. And you want to know something? Somebody did.
Oh, good.
Maureen Wagner, Oakland, California, donated $100. And Tama Gadini, I hope I'm saying your name correctly.
Spell it.
T-A-M-A, Tama? Tama Gadini donated $20. Then Lisa Watson from Minneapolis, one of our neighbors right here, donated $50.
We had Lisa.
Okay, we're going way over 500.
Absolutely.
We got 450 right now.
Absolutely.
We will
450
get
right now. We have to go over. We're going to make these things a reality.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
And we haven't even begun to talk about the flagpole.
Oh,
So
yes.
on the lot that you saw, where you saw straw and you saw the children there for Halloween. It will be, as was stated, an outdoor market, but we also put up,
garden.
and there will be a garden as well, named after Mr. Brooks. But also, we have raised our second flagpole following the one in St. Petersburg, Florida, so that we can raise the red, black, and green flag in this community, representing liberated territory for African people.
Yes.
And not only is it a flagpole, you see here, it is a 50-foot flagpole.
Ooh, wow.
And not only is it a 50-foot flagpole, it's got a 25-foot red, black, and green flag, symbolizing the freedom of the African nation. You see it here. This is an actual.
Wow. That's beautiful.
And the most profound thing about this whole flag is that when we raise the flag, and not just when we raise it, but when we bring groups of African people out to raise it, to march out to the flagpole and raise it ceremoniously, the African community stops. The whole street creates a traffic jam, and Africans in their cars and trucks will start pulling over, and then they see it at the last minute, so they kind of pull over at an angle. People blow their horns, they raise their fists, they stop, they get out, they sign up, and some people will tell us that they've seen it. We had one person tell us that he saw it from blocks away, and he was going one direction, and he saw the flag, and he turned around and came back because he wanted his children to see this, and he wanted to see what it was about. So this is the kind of, not only the economic development, but the kind of hope that we are bringing to this community who has not developed an economy, and therefore have not had a real belief in our ability to overturn the contradictions that keep us from developing a viable economy. So we want to just recognize the flagpole, and so we need people to continue to donate to this project. All right?
Go to
blackpowerblueprint.org.
And so it doesn't stop here. The Black Power Blueprint has more. Kitty, can you tell us about the third floor renovation?
Oh, huru, Ticharwa. Well, this building is a 9,000 square foot building, and it's 3 stories. And in the beginning of the project, the first 2 floors were what, we felt we could do, but the electricity was brought up to the 3rd floor, and that was it. And as you can see by the pictures, the before and after, even of the stairs going to the 3rd floor, it was, badly in need of renovation. And matter of fact, a lot of the volunteer days were in constantly cleaning up the 3rd floor, because when a new roof goes on, there was no soffit and fascia around the top of the building. So all the tar constantly came into the 3rd floor, because there was no sheetrock or anything, it was just rafters. And we were up there so much cleaning these volunteer days, and buckets of water, throwing water.
More dust.
The dust was
More
enormous. So then what happened is that Deputy Chair Ticharwa and other people, Musa and other people, wrote a grant. It was a grant to teach or have a program for what the state calls at-risk young African people. And so they wrote this grant, which was a brilliant grant, and it was going to be like a broadcast program. And we really had absolute possibility of getting this grant. We had the space, we had the equipment. There was so much we were bringing to the grant. And the fact is that the grant was not awarded, but to think the grant was coming, we didn't have enough space. So we
Right.
started bam, 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 you know, with the renovation of the 3rd floor. And that's how, you know, and that's how it happened. And you can see pictures before and after. And, you know, you can see after, and it's so beautiful. And some of our, it doesn't show, I mean, it's not a full slideshow to really show all the contractors that were involved. And some of them were the people that worked on other parts of the building, including Tim Coney from Coney Cleaning and Hardwood Floor
Yes.
Specialist, who said the first day he was here to do the floors on the 2nd floor, sanding them, he went home and his daughter saw the literature and said, "Dad, you have to work with them. You have to have a relationship to them." She had just lived in Philadelphia. And she talked so much about the community-based organization of the Uhuru movement, Uhuru Furniture, the markets, what they meant. So it's been a very powerful process.
Yeah, and I just want to say Tim is really a friend of our organization. He really gave us a huge discount on these floors because they were in bad shape. And if you come up and see on the 2nd floor and on the 3rd floor, I mean, they're just beautiful. He does magnificent professional work. And if you ever need your floors done in St. Louis, Tim Conley is the man to call.
Uhuru, and we have
Looks-
more.
We have more donations. I see that we have donations coming in from Renee, $15. We want to thank
Renee,
Renee.
that's
Renee!
And also Kyle Weiss, $10.
Kyle.
And then Shabaka, and I'm going to make an attempt at this last name, Unambata.
Who is it?
$20.
Shabaka in
Shabaka.
Philadelphia.
Oh, Shabaka,
So hopefully
Uhuru.
that's your name. Uhuru. All right, and we do have to kind of move the program. We need to talk about some additional programs, and we want to remind people that you can go to blackpowerblueprint.org. But we also have 2 additional buildings that we are working to renovate. Deputy Chair, can you tell us about the, well, I'll say, because one of them is a LRA property that Deputy Chair mentioned a while ago. This is this land bank that has been holding these properties that they've been accumulating. And so we were able to purchase one, though most Africans are not. This building sits right on the corner down the street from where we are now, and we need to demolish it. It is another building that is among the many vacant buildings in St. Louis that cannot be saved. And so this is a building that sits right on the corner. We have not decided how we want to use it, but we know that we want to demolish the building, and we'll have Trish and Andre, the same contractors who did the demolition across the street from where we are now, to do that for us. So we need donations to continue to come in so that these projects can happen. And again, we're encouraging people to go ahead and make a donation, to go to blackpowerblueprint.org.
Someone did.
Oh, good.
Yes, Ron Hudson.
Ron.
I don't know where Ron is from. But we really, really appreciate your donation. He donated $50.
All right. And Ron, if you can tell us where you're from, we would appreciate it. And
So how much we've done?
Well, you know, I have 2 different totals.
Okay.
So I did text. I have 2 different totals. I have $495, and I bet you it's $545 that was meant. Not $445. We went over the $500 minimal goal. That's a typo, so that makes it $545. And it's so needed because the bricks fell down from the LRA property down the street, and that was a project that was gonna be done in a year. You have a year or 16 months to do that. But the building started coming apart, is how they say it. Started already coming apart. Bricks fell down on the outside layer. So May 10th is beginning that project. And we want our videographers there, our photographers there, the community's coming out. People were saying in the rally last week, let us know when those buildings are coming down. It's just a celebration. It's an eyesore. It's unhealthy. It's horrible, you know, and then the vision of what's gonna happen there, Deputy Chair was already saying. So that's really profound. And it's
Yeah.
next door to the fourplex.
Right.
yeah, can we talk about the fourplex?
Yes.
There's
well,
more.
Yeah, we understand that the African community, we want to feed, clothe, and house our people. So one of the things that we did was we purchased this fourplex because we wanted to have a place where African men and women coming out of the colonial prison system have a place to live. So we have this fourplex that has they're one-bedroom apartments with the living room, dining room, kitchen, there. So we're renovating that fourplex for the African Independent Workforce Program that's going to be kicking off when we start the project of Uhuru Jiko. And Uhuru Jiko is a cafe and restaurant along with a commercial kitchen that we're going to be implementing as well over on Goodfellow Boulevard. So we're excited about this project. We have electrical, we have plumbing, we have everything that we need to do in this building. We'll be working on this building during the summer. So we want people to come out and volunteer with our NTU Volunteer Brigade program that we're initiating as well. We're going to start renovating this fourplex in the next couple of months.
All right, thank you. So we see the renovation that happened here that we are sitting in now. We talked about the demolition of the two buildings across the street and the market that will happen. We have
in the garden.
I keep forgetting, and the garden, the fencing and the lighting that goes up for that, and the money that we need to raise to make sure that we can pave it. So that we can have the garden and we can have the terraced stage. And we talked about the demolition of the building, the LRA property and the fourplex that will house people getting out of prison, and the workforce program. We have so much renovation and development happening as part of the Black Power Blueprint. Kitty, just tell us why we need to make this a priority and why this is so important for us.
Uhuru. I really, appreciate it, Ticharwa, and I do want to say that I now know that Ron Hudson is from Seattle.
From Seattle,
And
okay.
now he came to a convention here. I remember him, all right, Ron.
Can you go on the website and
really
see if people made
appreciate your
comments that
powerful,
we could read?
Participation in this project. And it's really unlike any other, project or movement that's happening in the world today. It's like something that the world is watching. For one thing, it's an anti-colonial project. It's not just that we're just raising money to do these things to better life. It's really tied to a whole strategy where African people can have control of their own resources and own communities. And that when we give from the white community, it is a form of reparations. As Deputy Chair said, this is not a charity politic. This is acknowledging that the African community is fighting for self-determination, economic self-reliance, which is tied to having self-determination, and that the resources are in our community and have been in our community for 600 years since Europe first landed in Africa. So we are only giving back what is rightfully theirs for their own economic self-reliance project until they have full control of Africa and all of their own resources. So it's like we're giving back. Missouri was a slave state. Was a slave state, and it still acts like it too. It acts like it too. And the founding of St. Louis was slaveholders, just like the founding of the U.S. had Washington and Jefferson. St. Louis had Chateau and Laclede, French fur trappers. That means they killed Indians for the land. They had enslaved Africans. Then the Jesuits come into the city, owning African people, who built SLU, the pride of St. Louis. Was built by Africans enslaved. And they even brought 3 couples and would not let them bring their children, and then had them breed. And they would not let them bring their children. This is the reality of what we live in and what provides our life, our experience, our ability to wake up and the birds are chirping, it's really the reality of it. So we say that reparations is really the stance that we have to take, and it's in our interest to pay reparations. One of the other things about this project is that, as the chairman says, Amalia Yeshitela says, Black Power can stop gentrification because the vultures are here, because the state is building a spy center, the National Geospatial Agency, not a mile and a half away. And they are absolutely marching and gentrifying, and that's why there's so much police violence. you know, in the community. They're pushing the community out more and more and more because they want the land. They're going to house all those engineers. They're going to house their families. They're going to start building up the schools. They already put a grocery store in the area. You cannot eat here. And I want to let all the friends who just donated, you go to one corner store here, and if you can get potato chips that aren't stale, that's the breadth and scope of the food. So, you know, this is like our responsibility, but it's in our interest. It's liberating. It's liberating to be part of a community, part of an optimistic future. That's the Black Power blueprint. It gives us something to live for. We don't get caught up in all the alcohol, the opioids that our community is riddled with. It's like liberating. We have something to so appreciate from the Uhuru movement, from the African People's Socialist Party, Black Star Industries, African People's Education and Defense Fund, from the Black Power blueprint. So, you know, I really appreciate everyone who's donating, and keep it coming. We're going to keep it coming. The projects is going down the street. Just project after project, flag after flag.
That's right.
I mean it. It's really
we
powerful.
Want to raise 100 flags, and we want 100 more buildings to renovate. We have more donations?
Yes, we do.
I see. Tell us what donations we have.
Oh, Uhuru, we have Ali Aiello, $25.
I'm going to donate $15 online.
All right, another audience member.
We have
Gregory
Pfister.
Gregory Pfister, $15. Uhuru, he's going online. We have Diane Tournay from Gainesville, Florida, $25. And just to say, Ali Aiello is from Boston and actually runs a marathon. He's going to run a marathon as a fundraiser for the Black Power Blueprint in Vermont. Yes. Uhuru. Okay, we're up to $5.95. Uhuru.
Right. To Diane Torre.
I got Diane Tournay, Gainesville, Florida. Wonderful supporter. Uhuru.
There's a viewing party there in Gainesville too.
Oh, there's a viewing party in Gainesville. Excellent.
Uhuru, comrades.
We see you. Uhuru.
All right, so we
Oh,
want to
we're up
remind-
to 610 with Gregory's donation. Woo! We're over to 600. Uhuru.
For those who may just be joining, we had a goal to set tonight that was $500. We have surpassed that goal, and that allows us to reach our goal of over $9,000 for this phase of the Black Power Blueprint project. But it's not enough. We need to continue to raise money. We want to encourage people to go to blackpowerblueprint.org. And Kitty just made a real significant, analysis of what we see here in St. Louis. These conditions that we see, the conditions that we are fighting against, did not happen by accident or coincidence. And the fact is that the African community looks the way it looks in this community, where you see no places to eat. You see vacant and abandoned buildings every corner. You see whole lots where buildings used to be. And you see a community that is existing largely off of a drug economy. And we recognize that there are conditions that have been imposed on this community to make this a reality. And so when you support the Black Power Blueprint, you are supporting, as Kitty said, anti-colonial projects. And colonialism is domination by a foreign power who lives at your expense. And so we have had an economy built at the expense of this community. And this is what we see with African people all over the planet. In the city of St. Louis, we see this massive assault by the white ruling class to take all of the resources to consolidate power and to do it at the expense of the African community. So we see the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency that has been funded to the tune of, I forget how many billions of dollars, and approved by Trump. This will be a spy agency that will allow drones with exact precision to be dropped on families in Yemen in Sierra Leone. And you see here in that whole African communities pushed out in order to bring this NGA, this spy facility here right now. And this is a facility that had its origins in this city as a fortress that was built by the original colonizers to push out the indigenous people. So you see this long, uninterrupted history of economic domination. So you see the NGA, you see this effort right now to, and it's actually been passed, to reduce the number of wards in the city of St. Louis, which will not allow the African community to wage any kind of political power and representation. And this is happening from a ruling class that wants to consolidate power and wants to dilute the black vote. You see organizations being paid off to participate in this process, like the NAACP, that recently, whose president recently announced that the NAACP is in support of a plan that will push destroy more African communities, and we find out that he's being paid. You see this Better Together plan where forces are trying to merge the city and the county, again, to get hold of a tax base and to get control of the courts and the police, and then to do so at the expense of the African community. And again, disrupt or interrupt any attempt or any possibility of the black community having any kind of political power. So this is what the Black Power Blueprint is a direct assault on. And so when you donate and when you go to blackpowerblueprint.org, this is what you're donating to. And I see Kitty anxious over here to tell us about the additional donations that we have.
Uhuru. Well, I'm donating $20 in reparations tonight.
Uhuru.
And we have James White, who's donating $25.
Uhuru.
And
Right.
he is Washington, D.C. Uhuru James.
Uhuru James.
Uhuru. So our total is $655.
Wow.
Uhuru.
Right. Did you have anything else to say?
Well, I just want to say that, as we know, in 2014, that brought us to St. Louis was the murder of Mike Brown.
Right.
And when we came to St. Louis, everybody came to St. Louis. You know, you had Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, you had all these, opportunists coming here, while the cameras were rolling. And soon as the cameras stopped rolling, they were gone. But the Black Power Blueprint and the African People's Socialist Party, APDF, is still here, working this community, building economic development for the African community. So we are still here while they have left and gone. We are still building for our community, and we want everybody to be a part of this. We want you to join the Black Power Blueprint Steering Committee. We want you to join one of the volunteer departments that we're going to be launching in the next couple of weeks. This is the place to be. This is the time for your money. And I see somebody raising their hand in the audience. Hi, Grady.
Forgive me, my chair, but it's not much, but I like to donate online tonight, $5.
Uhuru! Uhuru took us right up to 700.
Also, my deputy chair, next week I'd like to make an additional donation of $10
Uhuru.
and volunteer my service for the opportunity to volunteer on the different committees.
Uhuru, thank you,
Say your
great.
name.
Grady Brown, Grady Brown, BROW.
Grady
Grady
Brown. Grady
And-
Brown.
655.
And also,
That's $670.
wow, let's get us to
Uhuru.
700.
Uhuru.
Yeah, let's get to 700. Uhuru.
I wanted to say that you can also sign up to volunteer at blackpowerblueprint.org as well. And the thing about Grady is, Grady told me, who's in the audience here, who just donated, he told me one day, he said, my job is to learn as much as I can, to work as much as I can, and to spend my money. He is a real
Supporter.
soldier and supporter in every way.
And he also just joined the African People's Socialist Party, right?
That's right.
Uhuru.
And he's off to a meeting, I think, also.
You think we can do the last 30? It's 700?
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's see if we can have somebody make a donation of $30, make 2 donations of $15, 3 donations of $10. 4
Okay,
donations
so
of
I'll make the $30.
Woo! All right.
Uhuru.
Deputy Chair, $30.
$30. So we're at
700.
700 right now.
Excellent.
and 7 o'clock.
And
It
it's
is 7 o'clock.
What a great audience
Uhuru.
support.
All right, thank you very much.
Uhuru.
Uhuru, everybody.
Uhuru.
Fantastic stand.
So you can still go
Reparations.
to, you know, we're getting ready to close out, but you can still go to blackpowerblueprint.org and make your donations.
Keep it
Uhuru.
coming, keep
Yes.
it coming. We
Uhuru.
have announcements to read.
Oh, we have announcements. Okay, so announcements. First of all, we're excited to say that tomorrow, Wednesday the 1st, is Give St. Louis Day.
Oh, yeah.
We have a $1,000 goal for that, which I know we can do. So you should go to www.givestlday.org. That is givestlday.org / Black Power Blueprint. And we want you to go during the Power Hour, which is
Power Hour.
the Power Hour.
What's
it's
that?
a period between 10 and 11 a.m. Central, where the organization who gets the most donors during this time, they enter a chance to win an additional $1,000 from the St. Louis Community Foundation.
So we definitely want people to go, what time?
10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Central tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Uhuru.
And it is fitting that you will be donating to the Black Power Blueprint.
Uhuru.
Power Hour. Also this year, the Black Power Hour, somebody said. This year, the African People's Socialist Party will hold an amazing African Liberation Day. I think that's what this is going to say. Yep, African Liberation Day in Washington, D.C., which is May 25th and 26th, with a parade, culture, workshops on how you can join the APSP and on all of our many fronts, and how you can help fight for the liberation of African people. Go to alduhuru.org. That is alduhuru.org. And Kitty, can you make the last announcement that I was supposed to make? Last two?
Oh, okay. Well, in a couple of weeks, there'll be the first committee meeting. That's going to be on a Saturday afternoon. It's the Saturday after May 5th. So May 12th afternoon at 3 o'clock here at Aquaba Hall at the Uhuru House. Local Black Power Blueprint campaign meetings.
Good.
We're going to get together on everything, the projects, you know, the events we want to have, the projects, how do we build our committee to build the One Africa, One Nation marketplace. We want to get, you know, people that want to volunteer on the projects. What are we going to video? We're going to pull it all together. How are we going to get it all photographed, videoed, promoted, you know, get the whole program going for the One Africa, One Nation market.
That's right.
Yes, the Uhuru.
And we will see you again in the next 2 weeks. And we will have, during that web show, the one and only Chairman Omali Yeshitela.
Uhuru.
So stay tuned to make sure you subscribe.
And we got another donation.
All right, of how much?
MQ from Gainesville,
Uhuru.
Florida, $8.
Uhuru. MQ.
MQ. That makes
All right, on that
708.
note, we want to say go to blackpowerblueprint.org
ORG.
and Uhuru.
Uhuru.
Oh.